My name is Damali Ssali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Jonathan Kasule, who is the founder of Beyond Education, and he's going to tell us all about it. Jonathan, you're very welcome.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here to share my experiences about Beyond Education and what we do.
All right. Tell me what is Beyond Education?
Like it is Beyond Education is an idea that addresses what we have not learned, through formal education, and looking at the whole scope of being holistic in learning. There are so many things that we probably take for granted, and these are key things, because what I now know is that when you live your life and adapt habits and be intentional about them, then your life changes. We are habitual beings, and before you know, you will say, I'm losing only 2 minutes, but it gets compounded when you begin living like that. You're losing 2 minutes every other time. And what we do is basically about being able to prepare the best way you can. Because every time you prepare the best way you can for something upcoming, or an event, or a day, you become the best person that day doing that, whatever you were preparing to do.
Okay, so what does Beyond Education do?
Beyond Education is a high performance program, and it is intended to scope performance on a higher level. And we are looking at different things, the details of how we live spiritually, psychologically, physically, emotionally, and financially. So I'm seeing so many people make mistakes, but we yet don't know. Political leaders, and people from all scopes, making all sorts of mistakes, but because we don't have the knowledge of how to do things better, we can't make out what is wrong, and we're into creating a better society through creating better systems,
So beyond education,
yes,
you created this program,
yes,
to help us become more high performing,
exactly,
following those principles.
Exactly.
So if it's me, Damali Ssali right now,
yes,
and I wanted to tap into this becoming a high performer, walk me through that process.
What happens, first of all, I really need to know who you are, what your intention is, because everyone has a place they really want to go to, They want more, they want to work at a particular level, but often there are few details that we do not look into. And what I've learned about being a high performer is basically being able to tap into the details, being more detailed with what you do. So we look into the 5 spheres of our being, the spiritual, psychological, physical, emotional, and financial. And we will look at those details and see where you're lacking.
So I'll come to Beyond Education.
Yes.
And I say I want to become a more high-performing individual.
Yes.
And then you will, first of all, how do I enroll? How do I find you? And then how do we get into this conversation about these 5 things?
You catch us on, first of all, on different platforms, WhatsApp. You can come physically to our offices in HSRC, Aloy Plaza, and several other platforms. What we do is we prepare seminars too. If we are not meeting individually, then you can catch our seminars and then come and connect with what we do. And we have developed planners, we have developed books that actually help systemize your life, live by habits, live by these things intentionally, and see how you step your game up.
So these, the seminars, which are group seminars, right?
Yes.
You conduct how so often? I'm thinking of a person who is currently right now watching us, and they're like, you know what? Yes, I want to know more about Beyond Education. How do I tap into it.
Yes. The seminars are quarterly, okay? We do them quarterly, but we have individual.
You also have an individual
Programs. And then we also bring it to where you were. Supposing you have a school, okay? We bring it to the school. You have an organization, we bring it to the organization and try to fit it in what you do. Because our thing is we want to serve you. We want you to perform at a higher level, okay? So however way you do your work, okay? We want to fit in and then try to help you do your work better. So, but basically it is the same things that we do always, but how do you scale them better? How do you do them better? Because we keep doing the same things. Because since we are habitual beings, we keep doing the same things. But how you do these things is what really matters. Yes.
Okay, so you, for the group sessions, you have the seminars, which are quarterly, which I can find on yours.
Yes.
And then you have a program.
Yes.
If I wanted my individual high performance as an individual,
yes,
I can also connect with you. And then if I'm a company, Ideation Corner, and I want it, which is usually critical, you want your employees to be high performing.
Exactly.
You're paying them. You would also do a program?
Yes, we'll do a program. There is something that is so like, as we talk about detail, okay? There are so many problems in our systems. I see things on the road and then you're like, this wouldn't be the thing, you know. We're into a community that is so like kind of political. We are trying to be ahead of everyone, you know, and we are doing it the wrong way. See, the person who is trying to be ahead on the road is doing it the wrong way. You could actually be ahead of everyone else planning better at home. And then, you know, we are seeing all these people, ministers and all those people, you know, spending a lot of money and wasting the time and creating rage on the road just because they are not high performers. They are literally taking advantage of the fact that they have sirens and you know, you could actually do the same work or even more. Actually, you could do better by planning better at home and then move swiftly on the road.
So if I was, say, a minister
yes,
who's listening right now,
yes,
and I wanted to be more high performing,
yes,
and I wanted Beyond Education to help me, what kind of package would you prepare for an individual?
Specifically is we'll have one-on-one encounters because it's about changing habits.
Okay. So I'll come for a one-on-one and then you try to understand me.
I try to understand you. Try to understand your mornings. There's another program we do, it's called Progress Day.
Okay.
And it's about how we manage our evenings and how we manage our mornings. So you can have a leverage, okay, on how you do your work through the day if you know how to handle your mornings and you know how to handle your evenings better. And going into the detail, you know, we are looking at physicality, for example. I should know how to eat, first of all, because I need to be swift, decision making and all those things, okay? So I need to be healthy, okay? You know, that we have some personalities who educate us about the dietetics, okay? How do you have to feed? Then we also do the physique part. We have people who will train you to let you know better about your body. Why do you need to be fit? Because for you to be able to make better decisions as a minister, you need to be fit. You need to eat healthy. And then you need to be a better planner. Okay, otherwise, you know, you're into a system, but you are actually not fit for the, probably I don't want to say for the post. Okay, your credentials will put you there, but you could make everything.
If your body
right.
is not physically fit, you're saying you may not be able to perform at your best level.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, these things were not taught to us earlier, okay? But they have a bigger contribution to how we live, on how we perform. Just let me give you an example. If you don't prepare better emotionally, like I didn't prepare emotionally better to come and appear here, okay? Then I would be lost somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't prepare the best way. I don't give the best content. So it is all in those small corners, the details that we may despise, the 2 minutes that you will lose and say that is nothing, okay? And the biggest problem, it becomes a habit. When I quote one gentleman, James Clear, from he wrote a book called Atomic Habits. He says we don't rise to our dreams, we fall for our habits. So when we look at our lives, they're a collection of all those things. And you know, as you lay one brick today, okay, it is your habits laying that brick. If you consistently do the same thing, you'll have a bad week, consequently a bad month, and a year. But if you change the way you eat, you change your working out, and then knowing actually even when to do it. I see so many people working out in the evening, which is okay.
It's not a good thing.
It's okay. But
I am one of those people.
but it works better in the morning. If you're working out in the morning, okay, like you know, it's I'll compare it to the fact that you're sick, okay, you have a health issue, okay, and the doctor prescribes medicine to you, okay. The doctor will say, you take this pill at this hour, it will work better. You know, you could say, no, why can't I take it in the evening? But it will work better for you in the morning probably, or it could work better for you in the midday. So you've got to know, like, basically we have studied human psychology, how we can leverage our energies, leverage our psychology, leverage our thinking, leverage our imaginative abilities. And if we know how these work, then we'll be on a higher side of performance in everything we do.
Going back to the exercise,
yes.
Why is it better to work out in the morning than in the evening?
You see, when we are lost most of the times, we don't know what to do, or we are worried about something, working out reduces the fear hormone, because the fear hormone is high in the morning. So when you begin to work out in the morning, so you will increase your confidence and the things you're going to for you're creating more energy in the day. You know, there are things we will do. For example, there are times when you have to make a phone call and then you begin to hesitate.
Yeah.
If you worked out in the morning, if you reduce that fear hormone,
then you make the phone call.
Okay? Yeah, that's why I would also quote Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. That book, and she says that we make decisions in a window of 5 seconds, and we have a habit of procrastinating. That if you don't make that decision, you will not work on that, and that is what performance is about. You know, it's execution. How am I able to make decisions swiftly? It all is in how we leverage better all these other things. Your spirituality. For example, if you know that you go to God every morning and say some words of thanks and prayer, you're confident that He is with me, and then you will begin to do some.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Then when you have a better psychological view of things, like I'll give you an example about the things I do, okay? First, I don't listen to news, okay? I don't listen. Of course, you create a kind of environment that you really want, that will create the kind of dreams that you really want. So you prepare your brain in a way that this is what I want to hear because it is healthy for what I want to achieve. Okay? So you position yourself psychologically. It can be the same situations. I've studied several successful people, but they are living in the same situations but turn out to be the best people. And there are some individuals who are living in the same situations and turn out to be the worst. So it's basically how you see the things. It's working on your mind, okay? And then working on your body, because all these things have to work together. They have to work in harmony. So if you will leverage all these areas better, you'll be a high performer. And you need specific people. You need trainers. You need mentors. We do those things. You need them to take you through. There are things you will never see of yourself until someone sees it and then tells you, you know, you are good at this. You know, you can do this better. You know, I can help you walk through that and then you will be the best. I work with a school, and recently we had a sports show and I'm leading a particular group, Livingstone. And because I've understood the importance of high performance emotionally, some people don't believe in themselves. So you give them an emotional push. You tell them, I believe in you. You hug them. You pat them. You run with them. You go through as a leader. Go through with them. You give them energy to do things they never thought they would do.
Yeah.
I literally did that, and the kids won. And exercising all these things and seeing how it works, it excites us because every one of us wants more. We all want the better car. We all want the better house. We all want the better business. We all want to get more customers for what we do. We want to serve more. I want to meet a high profile person. All that is encompassed in our habits. And these habits can be high performance habits as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why it is beyond education. So it's more
Yes.
practical application of yourself
Exactly.
in your day to day.
You need self-awareness. You need to know what you can do.
So what drove you to when did you establish beyond education?
It was in my mind for a long time. But that so many people, like I was, they live in that gap. I want to do something, but I really don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I came into this space because I want to help people to realize their dreams. And to tell them you can practically start walking the right direction by taking one small step at a time. And that is what it's about. We don't build a whole wall by laying the wall.
Yeah.
It is about laying the brick. So it's about
What was stopping you from doing it even though you had the idea? What was stopping you?
It is all in the habits and the belief systems that we have. It goes back to what I've been explaining. What you're surrounded by, the kind of beliefs you've built, because that is the mental picture you have about yourself, okay? You're in a community where there are ineffective people who don't believe in you. This is so common. When you're like Jesus, when he was in Galilee, they literally never believed in him because, he's a small boy, Joseph's boy, he could not do much. Even when you would do something beyond, they would not see it. So you've got to find those people. You've got to find the right people to work with, okay?
So that's why you're talking about mentors surrounding yourself
exactly.
with the right,
you should be surrounded, exactly, the right message, the right people, okay? The people who are really good in what they're doing. We have, I feel so bad that we have so many talents that are dying out just because they don't know how to walk through and then create a better life or create a better, whatever they want to serve, okay? So, how do you take the small steps? Like I said, we have developed planners and then we have designed these programs. How do you handle? Because if you want to change something about yourself, you have to change your self-image first.
Yeah.
You have to change your identity. How do I belong to the Ambassador Damali Ssali's, crew? How do I, and people of such profile are not easy to find. So what you do, there is information available, okay? You have YouTube, you have people who are doing what we are doing. You have books people have written, and you could go and start doing that. But you see, the problem is the discipline to do it.
Yeah, you do it. And it's the time. Who has the time?
Yeah. We probably don't have the time because we don't want to create it.
But it could take me longer. For me trying to figure all this stuff out, it could take me longer. It's maybe easier for me to just come to Beyond Education, who have already done that.
And that's why we are here.
Then they customize the program for me. I don't need to be even when I go to YouTube, it's things that you've recommended. Of course, eventually I will do more research.
Exactly.
But the initial bit shouldn't need me searching around YouTube.
Exactly. Searching around and not knowing what to do, and then not knowing what other step to take. And then, what we do is, because there are 3 situations under which we are high performers. And this is a big one. We perform highly when we are under pressure.
Yeah.
We're in a crisis.
Yeah.
We have a deadline to beat. We are on top of our game.
Yeah.
Okay? Now the second situation...
You're studying for an exam and then you study the entire book in 3 days.
Exactly.
And then you had a whole term. You didn't study the book.
and it happens so often. Yes. Because people don't know. And the second situation is when you're under supervision. I know my boss is here, so I have to perform. I've seen so many people act. And it makes me feel bad because I'm in an organization and someone who is in a bigger post than I am and influencing all the decisions around is not, I'm not saying he's not smarter than me, but he doesn't have all this information and all these tools, okay? And it makes the whole of you lag. If you don't stand out and work on yourself, you will just follow. It will impact you.
Yeah.
So the second situation is when you are working from supervision. People do that, okay?
Yeah.
He's there, she's there.
You're being micromanaged.
Exactly.
So looking at, what are you looking at on the laptop? Okay.
I'm in schools, okay? I'm in schools, and I see that with the kids. When the teacher is there, they're doing the work. When the teacher is not there, they're not doing the work. Now, the third situation, which is the most powerful thing that our parents told us not to do, and we habitually develop those two that are not long term, is the fact that we have passions, inbuilt passions and dreams.
Yeah.
And if you simply, like I mentioned about Imagine Me, that if a parent has to do something better for the child, that parent must change the way they see their child.
Okay.
Okay? Because what
Even as they bring the child up?
Yeah, because what we've always had is, I want you to be a lawyer.
Doctor.
I want you to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I want you to be an engineer. And you don't have anything to suggest because he has said it is done.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're going to be an engineer.
But you know what is happening now is that kids are brighter. They have knowledge at their disposal. They know that the richest man didn't even reach this level. I mean, in formal schooling, they know it, that Steve Jobs just dropped out of college. They know that Zuckerberg created Facebook in his dormitory. And he didn't bother even finishing Harvard. Okay? And these are the majority. Les Brown didn't even go to school at all. Okay? They have all these in their minds and you're busy pushing them. They will do it because you're there, but they will not take it to heart. So the idea is, if parents could sit down with their kids, that's why we have mentorship. Because, you will not tell a child what to be when they have something else in the mind. They will act before you, but later on they will just choose some other path.
Something else, yeah.
So sit down with the child, or bring them to these programs, okay? Let us make out what this child is passionate about. We are not literally saying that, flash out all the rest, okay? But if you're committing, I actually do not, the idea of holiday programs, for me, that is a waste.
You mean holiday tutorials? When they go for these...
It is a waste.
They've left school and then they're going to school.
Exactly, in the holidays. And also, then there's this thing also. My child is good at playing the keyboard. I will only take them to play the keyboard over the weekend. That is all the wrong formula. It is all the wrong formula. No, you finish this grade, then in the holidays you'll go and play the football. It is all the wrong formula. If you want results, you have to be consistent on the small details you're paying attention to day in and day out. So my advice to the parents would be, commit 30 minutes for a child's passion every single day. Just 30 minutes. Let a child learn something about that area, what they're good at. Believe me, 5 years down the road, you may realize that what I've been chasing the child to be as a doctor is completely wrong. This child could be as well a very good singer, and I can see that. And when we take them to these schools where we believe, I'm taking the child to a dance school, okay? We are not heightening their dreams to a worthy cause. That's why they become average. I don't know if you've realized that. We are talking high performance here. Most people, even when they have dreams, they are just average. They are not working on their craft. They are not learning every day.
Is it because they're not putting in the daily work, like the daily 30 minutes?
They don't know what to do.
A lot of time by
Exactly. It's a lot of time. When you compound it.
Yeah.
Because this is exactly what we are talking about. Just like you mentioned, where we started. You're losing 2 minutes and you think it is little time. But if you compound it into a habit, it becomes something totally big. So the idea is, if we have design planners, journals. If a child is working from there, building on that 30 minutes to build their passion and dream, literally not making them leave the other things to do.
They still study.
Exactly.
But if she's passionate about dancing, she can do her 30 minutes.
And you're being consistent about
Consistently, yes.
Okay? This is going to be a great thing in this child's future. And if you're drawing energy from that side, results,
then even the school work would then
it
actually
will
take
be
care of
incredible.
itself. Yeah.
It will be incredible.
So in your packaging or programming, if maybe this is where you say you sit down with the person and find out about them, you'd also help if I'm a parent to teach me about my parenting end of things, so that just teaching me to be a high performer, you're also teaching me how to bring up high performers.
Yeah, we may not specifically touch some things that we are not good at. Like if you need to be a better parent, then there are some people who
there are people who teach that.
Okay. The only thing we could bring in there, like, is the knowledge of who your child is, and your role in bringing out the best in the child. There are so many parents who, by saying toxic words to their kids, think they're pushing the child to be better.
They feel encouraging them.
Exactly. And somehow you would say I would not blame them because that's how they were raised, but you have a responsibility. If you were not taught the right thing, find it.
And then teach the right thing.
Yeah, then teach the right thing. Don't say this is because
this is how I did it.
Exactly. This is how we were raised. Supposing you're a lemonade, and you could be, squeezed to a full glass, and then you were only squeezed to just half a quarter, and you're clapping your hands for yourself, saying this is the best I could do. There is a lot more if you studied your psychology, mental ability, emotional. Okay, all these other areas, if you knew how to leverage them better, you will find out that you will be a higher performer. You would have more productivity than you had before.
Right, Jonathan, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to emphasize, something you want to highlight, anything we've missed that you want to tell the people who are listening to you?
Our intention is to help people, like even our government at large, change systems. Okay, being high performers. Okay, because we've lived in long enough in a system. We are a global community, but I see so many people who are living in the olden days now, only holding phones and are having those gadgets, but don't even know how to effectively use them. So we want to take this to a higher level. Let it be government. You're seeing all these things happening on the road, and you really feel bad about it. Like what we have digitalizing Kampala and everything. Because before you would just take a lot of time to write a note and then let it have to be shifted to another place. But now you could do it in just seconds. Okay, so I think high performance is an elite system. That if we say that we are people of this generation, we should have it and change the systems from the government down to a personal level.
All right.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you had it. Please check out Education Beyond Education to educate yourself about how to become a high performer. Thank you.